Okay, let's write a program to print a diamond pattern of the asterisk symbol. So if I input the number of rows as 4, so this is the output that we are expecting. Okay, so let me clear. Let's get into the program. Hash include stdio.h int main. First I will declare the variable int rows. Then I will prompt the user to enter the number of rows. Next, scanf %d ampersand rows. Okay, now I will run a for loop. This will be an outer for loop. In fact, this will be the first outer for loop. So first outer for loop to print rows. So these rows will be until the middle of the diamond. So it will be the top triangle. Okay, so it will be the upper half of the diamond. For int I equals 1, I less than equal to rows, I plus plus, my first inner for loop will be to print blank spaces before the asterisks. Okay, to print blank spaces. So for int j is equal to I, j less than or equal to rows minus 1, j plus plus, printf just a blank space. Okay, next I will have a second inner for loop to print the asterisk symbol itself. So let me change this. Second inner for loop to print the asterisk symbol. For int k is equal to 1, k less than or equal to 2 times I minus 1, k plus plus, printf the asterisk symbol. And once I get out of this for loop, so we are done with the columns inside the upper half of the triangle, in the sense the upper half of the diamond. So then I will print a new line character, \n. Next I will have a second outer for loop to print rows of the bottom half of the diamond. Okay, so for int I equals rows minus 1, I greater than or equal to 1, so we will be coming in a descending order. So the rows who are going from 1 to 5, suppose the input is 5, so it will go from 1 2 3 4 5 and again 4 3 2 1. So that will be the order of the rows. So the second half of the diamond will start from rows minus 1 to 1. I greater than 1, I plus plus, printf just a blank space. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is for the rows. Next, my inner for loop. So the first inner for loop in the second order for loop. So first inner for loop in the second outer for loop to print blank spaces. For int j is equal to I, j less than or equal to rows minus 1, j plus plus. Printf just blank spaces. Okay. Next, the second inner for loop of the second outer for loop, second inner for loop of the second outer for loop will be to print the asterisk symbol. Okay, so for int k is equal to 1, k less than or equal to 2 times I minus 1, k plus plus, printf the asterisk symbol. So once I exit the second inner for loop of the second outer for loop, I will print a new line character, printf backslash n, and then outside the second outer for loop I will simply type return 0. So let me save and run this code. Enter the number of rows. I will say 5. Oops, Control C. There seems to be a problem. K is equal to 1, k less than. Right, so here it should be I minus minus. Okay, so let me save and run the code. Enter the number of rows, say 5, and there you go. That's the diamond.